Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. The night before the finals, the emotions are high. We already saw Rohit Sharma was crying after the England game, and it's a big emotional moment for India, what it has gone through as a cricketing nation in the last 13 years. Having played dominant cricket but still having no trophies. And on the other hand, there is 32 years of agony of South African cricket, the curse of the apartheid, as they call it. 1991 in South Africa were inducted back into cricket, and it was India who hosted them for the first time when they came to Indian shores. And from then onward, South Africa has had formidable teams. They have had names like Sean Pollock, A.B. de Villiers, Makhaya Antony, Graham Smith, Jack Scalise, Hansi Cronje, Herschel Gibbs, Gary Kirsten, um, Alan Donald. I mean, they've had legends, but they've not been able to win or even reach a final. And this is the first time they are unbeaten. They both the teams are unbeaten. They've reached the finals. It's going to be weird. I already feel like some team is about to choke big time. And who is it going to be? Is it the chokers of the past, the serial chokers, or is it the recent chokers who, despite having formidable team under Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, have not been able to do the job? Also, in the later career of MS Dhoni, we failed multiple times in ICC tournaments. So let's start this preview straight away with, I'll give you some facts straight away. Let's start with some of the facts. Now, South Africa and India, they have had very close relationships in terms of cricket. South Africa and India have played three T20 I series versus each other. Two of them were in India. And although India were not playing full strength, South Africa has actually managed to, win four of the matches. India has been able to win five of the matches. So it's that close. Despite many will be thinking India are clear favorites, but it's not so. Even the latest series that happened in South Africa, India were able to draw that 1-1 only. And of course, in all these three series, the major exclusion was Bumrah was out because of injury, and he didn't take part in those series. But some coming to some matchups now. Now Rishabh Pant in 2022 he struggled versus Maharaj. Maharaj set up a beautiful trap versus Rishabh Pant. Um, on the mid-wicket boundary. He was expecting Rishabh Pant to take him on with the slog sweep, got him out couple of times for low scores, 5 of 7, 6 of 8. Klaasen has struggled versus Chahal. Unfortunately, Chahal will not be part of this team, but Klaasen has actually struggled versus Chahal. And Miller, he has been brutal versus left arm spin of Aksar and Jadeja. Sky, he has been just standout. Even in the recent series, he got 100 in South Africa. He also played a typical video game knock, trademark of Surya Kumar Yadav in one of the matches in India, where he scored 61 of 22. So Sky has been just brutal. Um, what is the history saying about T20 World Cup? What will happen at the toss? Now, historically, only two finals have been won by the team which has batted first. But I'm quite sure that Rohit Sharma will be itching to bat first in this final because it's just South Africa who have choked during chase multiple times, and I'm sure Rohit Sharma will be itching to bat first on a pitch uh, where only India and Australia have actually won convincingly batting first. Other teams have all chased comfortably. So even in Australia versus Oman, actually Oman were on top of Australia for a considerable amount of time. And yes, batting is easier in power play. It's very mixed kind of feeling that I'm getting from Kensington Oval. Last time the T20 World Cup final in 2010 was also held at the same venue where Craig Kaiswetter easily chased down 148. England won their first ICC trophy there. So batting in that match also Australia were 45 for 4. We again said that versus Oman also they struggled. Only it was versus England where they got off to a flying start. India were also in a little bit of trouble with both Rohit and Virat getting out in the power play, and then obviously India managed to score an overpar total versus Afghanistan. But what is going to be the most important thing, according to me, is Sky's arrival in power play. I think he's just a brutal T20I batsman. Look at his scores after that Pakistan game where he batted at number 5, where Aksar was promoted. He has been just excellent. That 31 of 16 versus Australia, or the 46 of 35 in versus England, or the crucial knock versus Afghanistan where he scored a 50. So that was eventually the difference between both the teams. So Sky has been phenomenal, and he has notched up 4 T20I hundreds in a short career of 3 years. It was unfair for him to be picked for the ODI World Cup ahead of Sanju Samson, but he got a fair bit of criticism for his showing in the ODI World Cup final. But I think Sky truly belongs. He's at home in T20 cricket, and when is Sky at his best? He's been India's best T20I batsman in the last 3 years, and when is he at his best is when he comes out in the power play. And Virat Kohli again, if India bat first, which if they win the toss they will do, uh, although against the history, but in context of what South Africa does in knockouts, I think they will definitely look to bat first. So Virat needs to continue with what he's doing. He's been selfless. He's been not obsessed with his personal scores. He just needs to go and play those shots. Even if he gets out, it allows Pant to come in the power play. It allows Sky probably to come in the power play. Rohit has been outstanding as a batsman and as a captain, but I think a lot of Indian batting still depends on Surya Kumar Yadav. So I think power play is also when, if we go by the Australia and England match, it's also the best time to bat in the power play. You can really take the game away from the opposition if you bat well in the power play. And I think maximum intent should be shown in the power play itself. Um, One of the game-changing tactics for India in this World Cup has been Aksar and Jadeja playing together, which has not happened often in the past. We always think that Aksar and Jadeja are very similar players in terms of their batting, bowling, and fielding. But Aksar has actually developed very good all-round skills with his bowling. I think he's better than Jadeja now. In his batting, also in T20I format, I feel he's better than Jadeja. And accommodating him has been what actually transformed Indian team. They have a deep batting lineup. They are taking those risks which are needed to score an over par total, and that has been the success mantra for India. What South Africa will be trying to do if they bat first is they are going to go all out attack. They are playing their first final. They have nothing to lose, so they should go all out attack. And the most important batsman will be Quinton de Kock. uh, Quinton de Kock, if he takes off, gives a good momentum. We have seen what happened in the ODI World Cup. They scored above 400 multiple number of times. Then Klaasen and Miller can follow. Miller has been brilliant versus left arm spin. He can take on the left arm spinner. Pandya doesn't have a great record versus South Africa. He can be the release bowler because I'm sure they will just try to play out Bumrah. So Pandya's bowling will be very, very critical. How he performs with the ball as the third seamer is going to be very, very important. Kuldeep Yadav recently picked a 5 for versus South Africa in South Africa. I don't think anyone is able to read him, and he has changed. He's increased his pace right now, and nobody is able to read him off the pitch as well. He's going to be so critical. Meanwhile, we have Klaasen on the other end, who has been the fulcrum of South Africa's batting and the SRH batting in the IPL. If you see the eliminator game versus RR, SRH were down in the dumps, but Klaasen rescued them to a respectable total, which they were able to defend. Similarly, if you see in this World Cup, South Africa were twice versus Netherlands and versus Bangladesh. They were 4 wickets down within the power play. And from there, they've been able to creep back in thanks to the flexible batting order of Markram, Klassen, and Tristan Stubbs and David Miller. All have played at number 3 position, all have played at number 4 position, all have played at number 5 position. This flexibility has allowed to soak up pressure, which South Africa normally don't do in ICC tournaments. The strong middle order has been able to soak up pressure, and let's see what happens. So I think these are some of the factors. If South Africa go all out attack, Rohit needs to use his bowlers very cleverly, especially the use of Bumrah, how to rotate Arshdeep so that uh, you know South Africa batters don't line him up. Actually, there will be some help for the Pacers early, so I don't recommend using the same strategy what they did. That is bowling Akshar Patel in the power play. I don't think Akshar Patel should be bowling in the power play this time. There is some swing also in Barbados. Majority of the teams have chased here. Namibia chased versus Scotland. England chased versus USA. West Indies chased very easily versus USA. Oman had Australia in trouble early when Australia were batting first, and there was only one match where Australia and India both comfortably beat their opponents, England and Afghanistan, and that was because of scoring over par totals in both the cases. Also, one major weakness that South Africa has is they don't have a bowler who can bowl slower balls, which Pat Cummins has bowled brilliantly on this pitch. And even Indian bowlers have done the change of pace magic on this pitch. So they don't have a typical bowler like Dwayne Pretorius, who could have been very handy on these kind of pitches, who has had a lot of Caribbean Premier League experience as well. They don't have him. They have a Bartman who I doubt will play because Shamsi has finally got into good form. So if Sky stays at the back end of the innings, I think anything can happen because he can just take off Norkia. He's been utterly dominant versus Andrik Norkia. He can actually take on Norkia, and that could be the end of South Africa. On the other hand, India, what do they need to do? I think Rishabh Pant needs to be over aggressive. Virat Kohli needs to be over aggressive. A lot will depend on Rohit and Sky, and Virat and Punch need to allow Rohit and Sky to play maximum balls. They should not hog the strike. They should not, they should keep rotating, and they should keep trying to hit big shots. That's what is, I think, important here. We'll have a look at the teams. Let's have a look at both the teams and try to understand where I think India's strength lies in this. So I think if you see player to player, man to man comparison of India versus South Africa, Rohit is certainly, I would say, better than Quinton de Kock. In one of the matches in 2022, actually Miller scored 100 in losing cause where he blamed Quinton de Kock for the loss because he could only score 62 of 45 and they were chasing 237. They just lost by 16 runs. So Quinton de Kock can sometimes struggle versus good bowling. Virat and Riza, they kind of equal themselves out in terms of current form. Riza has had one good knock that was in a chase of 56, so I don't think that matters a lot. Pant is certainly more attacking than Markram, although Markram has played some attacking knocks versus India when they recently toured South Africa. Sky and Klassen, I think both of these batsmen, although Sky is a great T20I probably the greatest T20I batter along with Rohit Sharma, but I think Klassen also, can be in that company. So I think both are equal. Miller is certainly better than Dubey, and his six hitting ability to spin, Klassen and Miller, that can prove very vital. And their ability to soak up pressure, like I said, they were 4 down twice in the power play itself in this tournament. They've been able to manage uh, to escape those situations. Stubbs and Pandya, again, I think Pandya adds a lot in the bowling, so I'll say they are equal, although Stubbs is a much better batter. Jadeja and Jansen. Jansen has been fantastic in the last few games. He's bowled very economical. He has been varying his pace, varying the lengths. He has bowled Yorker when needed. He has bowled bouncer when needed. So I think Jansen has been terrific. I think he was very good versus Afghanistan, giving that important breakthrough of Remanullah Gurbaz. And also before that, he had 2 games of 4 over 17 or something like that. So he's been phenomenal. Maharaj has yet to concede more than 30 runs in this entire tournament. And like I said, he has an edge over Rishabh Pant, even though the matchups favor Rishabh Pant. So Rishabh Pant really needs to think a lot about his game plan versus Keshav Maharaj. Aksar and Maharaj, I have put them as equal because Aksar also contributes a lot with the bat, and he's been also phenomenal with the ball, especially how he has bowled to left-handers. Just like Maharaj has bowled well to Pant, Aksar bowled brilliantly to all left-handers this time. Even the Aussie left-handers, or how he bowled to Travis Head. His 1 over, I think, changed the game. How he bowled to Imad Wasim in that game versus Pakistan. So Aksar and Maharaj, I'm putting them as equal, even though Maharaj has been superb, and throughout his career versus India, he has been just superb. Uh, the problem for South Africa comes there. Shamsi or Bartman, who plays, they are not sure, because Shamsi has had, he can clean up the tail, but I don't think India will be in a situation where Shamsi can bowl to the tailenders. Norke and Rabada, they normally go for a lot of runs, but Rabada this time, I'm putting him over Arshdeep, although I'm putting Bumrah over Norkia, because Rabada has been phenomenal in the West Indies League of the tournament. He knows, he's been bowling proper test match length, and he knows that the pitch will support him. Whether that happens in Barbados, again, we'll have to see. So if you see, there are 4 players of India who are who overweigh over South Africa's 3 better matchups. So I think India are favorites definitely going into this final. Now comes the intangible part, that is the emotions of the final, the pressure of the finals, and what they will do at the toss will matter a lot. Both the teams will be looking to bat first, I'm quite sure, even though historically in T20 World Cups, like I said before, only 2 teams have been able to defend targets in the final. So South Africa need to really play fearless cricket and not think about batting collapse, not think about choking. They just need to play fearless cricket. And India, in similarly, they need to make the maximum use of their resources, like they've been doing it till now. They are not holding the wickets. They are ready to sacrifice their wickets for some extra runs, and that's how they've been scoring over par totals till now. So the similar approach needs to continue. uh, Individual runs do not matter now. You have all the time in the world to score thousands and thousands of runs. This is very important for India. It's been 11 years. They need to shut their critics up and show, that they've been a successful team and they have something to show it for. So that's my preview of India versus South Africa. Um, I'm not going to make any predictions today because I don't want to jinx anything. But a lot of it depends on Klassen because he can play all kinds of situation. Like I said, even if there is a collapse, they can soak up the pressure. Their middle order this time looks in a very good state, which earlier it was not the case because they always had some player who was not probably ready to take the risk. Maybe it was Rasi van der Dusen or Temba Bavuma at the top was not taking any risks. But this time, they have that firepower to beat India. So it's going to be very, very interesting, guys. It's going to be a close call at Barbados tomorrow. I'm hoping to see an excellent match on a Saturday night. It's a big one. India versus South Africa for the first time ever in a World Cup final. I'm so excited for this. Uh, we'll be joining again tomorrow and we'll be covering the match. So, really excited for Cricket Caviar and how many things we got right this time. So, please do subscribe our channel and please let us know what do you think about us and what do you think about the finals coming. Thank you guys and take care. Good night.